What's going on, guys? The date is May 23rd, 2024 on a Thursday. Thought I would make an updated video on my current EDC, reasons for having it, some stuff I'm done, just a kind of an update. Things about me: I'm just a regular dude. I work, I'm a dad. I don't have a lot of training. I do take training very seriously for myself. I take good equipment seriously. Reliability is number one, accessibility number two. Being a father, my main goal is to make it home every night. I want to be there for my daughter. Uh, I used to carry a lot during about 10 to 12 years ago, but that's changed. But after having my kid, she's 6 now, I just couldn't imagine myself not being there for her or her having to grow up without me. Chances of that happening, unless I screw up, are very small, but why not? Make myself available and make sure that I do everything possible to make sure I am always accessible and there. And it's a nice hobby just to kind of think of. It gets my mind off stuff. I don't have a lot of other hobbies, but my hobbies are including sharpening knives for a side business. I also like to shoot, look at gun stuff, not really for like building Glock builds and stuff, but more like what's optimal for me. Before I actually had a 43X. 10 years ago I had a 19 Gen 4 RTF2, which was an amazing gun. Shot that pretty well, and I took a decade off. Here last year or 2 years ago, I got a 43X because that was a new hype. Concealed very well. I'm a smaller frame guy. I'm 5'6", about 135 pounds. So I don't have a lot of body to conceal, but a slim framed single stack seemed like a good way to go. Plus, I heard it's pretty reliable. I added the Shield Arms mags, and I made sure those worked, and they didn't have an issue, but it was very different from shooting the 19 and the 26 I used to have. So I decided to, I trained as much as I could, but obviously ammo and range time costs some money. I don't have really access to an outdoor range, but I actually found a deal for this new Glock 45, just to show everything is safety checked. I actually had a video about my LCR 22 that kind of went, not viral, but it got pretty popular and had a lot of discussions, which I really appreciated. I do like y'all's inputs and seeing what you guys do. That was my first snub nose revolver, and this is my second one. I actually found this on the secondary market here locally. It's the J-Frame 442 and 38 Special. Really love this thing. So far, I have put the Apex trigger kit in here, the springs. I painted the front sight just to make it a little bit more visible. And this has been an awesome small carry, pocket carry. I'll show you guys my pocket holster I got. This is from Bowman Gun Leather. Really nice, sturdy Kydex with a soft front cover. And this works in pretty much all my pockets. And I also have an Enigma setup for it if I want to wear it with waistband. I am waiting for Hamry Forge to come out with their J-Frame grips. I know he's updating, so I don't want to get the current ones. I definitely recommend you guys check out the Hamry Forge hook grips, but it allows you to wear it, plus it makes the ergonomics a lot better. And I'm thinking it's going to be a little higher up, so I can ride a little bit higher, and that metal frame's not going to be beating into my hand. But I do love these. Great things about this, again, it's safety checked. When you may be in close contact with a semi-automatic, if you were to push this against somebody, that trigger is absolutely dead. Whereas this one, including even in a pocket, you smash it against something, you can still send a round out. Obviously, the amount of rounds you can send with this one is a lot smaller, but listen, my goal is to just get home, get out of trouble. First thing I can do is just be situationally aware, make sure I don't put myself in any situations where this may be possible, but we don't dictate that all the time. We don't control when crime happens. So if that happens, this is my no excuses gun. If I'm not going to be carrying my larger firearm, I have this on me. I do not go anywhere unless it's impossible without at least this on me. But this has been super reliable, no malfunctions. The factory double action trigger pull on this was about 12 pounds. This brought it down to like 9 or 8. And it's very smooth. You can actually stage this a little bit better than the LCR because the LCR is so smooth, but you hear that 2 clicks, and that's about to go off. And just a little bit more pressure, bang. But you can send fine rounds out pretty quickly. The only disadvantage, obviously, is this is really for close-up unless you're very practiced with it. But the sights aren't the best. But like I said, this is my go-to gun if I can't carry anything else. Now my 43X, I traded that, had a red dot on it. It wasn't Gucci'd out by the, general terms that people have, but I do not want to do anything that will make the gun unreliable. So only thing I've done so far with it is I added taller night sights because I am getting a red dot. I have one on the way now. I transitioned to the red dots when I got my 43X, and it's, as long as you put the time in, honestly, it's a very nice change. You become more target focused. You can actually see your sight disruption better as your trigger pull, so it actually works your trigger management a lot better, because you can, with iron sights, when you pull the trigger, it doesn't move a lot, but with the red dot, which has just a more dedicated sight, you can see how much sight movement you have, how much sight disruption you have. So I'm waiting for that, but I got these taller ones so I can co-witness with it. But I absolutely believe in red dots. As long as you put the work in with it, it does become a lot easier to shoot. And the only other thing I put in there was I actually tried the Glock performance trigger on here, and man, it is amazing. Generally, Glocks are when you pull the trigger, it actually pulls the firing pin back, so you have that tension as you're pulling back, and then it releases once you get to the back, so you have a lot of tension throughout the whole trigger pull. Whereas the new Glock performance trigger, like the Timney triggers, and I tried the Johnny Glock's 4311 trigger, it makes it into a fully cock striker, meaning anytime that slide is back, that firing pin is ready to go pretty much. But the good thing about the Glock performance trigger, it keeps all the safeties on there. You still have the safety tab there. That way, if that's not pressed, it cannot fire. It still uses the firing pin safety up here, where if the trigger's not pulled, the firing pin has no way of going into the breech to ignite the round. And then it's got a drop shelf here, but you get a little bit less take up. But once you break the trigger, man, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know the words, but it's a great feeling. Just a lot lighter, a lot crisper. You still have a defined wall, so you can prep the trigger and know when you're about to fire. But once you break it, a lot less disruption on the sight. So I do recommend trying that. Disadvantage, you do have to clean and oil the components a little bit more, because if it gets gunked up, it kind of has issues with the return spring in there, which can cause some things. But other than that, I actually shot this today. It's a little bit dirty. I need to clean it just to vet the trigger, and it did absolutely well. I shot 100 rounds, and it's ran really well. I actually have, the great thing I like about the 45 full-size frame, which I was amazed I can actually conceal this. I am using a Filster Enigma. I have the Filster Pro on there. I also have an Ascent Mag pouch and a sport belt on here. I have pouches back here in case I need to add something. Sometimes I'll carry a tenor tourniquet, but otherwise this is pretty much the gun, the magazine, and I can wear this in any kind of pants. I know people like to wear those belly bands and a belt underneath their shorts if they're wearing gym shorts, but this is a lot more secure, a lot more versatile, and this truly helps you conceal, especially when you're a smaller guy like me. It's a little pricey, but Filster has been amazing, but this is my go-to holster for it. And it's got the 17 round magazines. This is my rounds for now. I'll go over my ammo choices here in a moment. But 17 rounds, have another 17 on there. If I get the extension, I'll probably get a +5, +6. I mean, you're looking at 39, 40 rounds on your person at once. If you're going to go to some shady area, you just want to be secure. But otherwise, I'll carry this with maybe a speed strip if I need to. As far as other stuff for EDC, this is another item that I always carry. This is my Palm pepper spray. They have it in different variations where you have a pocket clip, a keychain. I just carry this in my front right pocket. If I need to, I just cook my finger, rip it out. And they have a little indexing area right here in the front in the safety tab where you can't press it unless it's lifted up. And you fire it, and it's a very reliable, very reputable source for pepper spray, because honestly, not everything needs to be shot or cut or stabbed. If you cannot get away, this is a good tool that's non-lethal, so having non-lethal is very essential. Also, you guys notice I don't have a weapon-mounted light. I got this also because I wanted it for more of a do-it-all, because I don't want to have a lot of guns. I mean, I'm not balling like that, plus my resources are held notice elsewhere. This is my no excuses gun. This is my do-everything gun. I might get a weapon-mounted light for home defense here soon. Just still deciding on what to get for it, but if not, flashlight is what I have. I've had mod lights, I've had Cloud Defensive, I've had Malkov. They're great, But these little cheap ones are awesome. This is a Convoy S6, about 20 bucks. It's got a 18350 body on there. You can get a longer body if you want for the higher output and larger battery, but this thing, for the price, I mean, it is blinding light. This is about 50 to 60,000 candela, which is how much concentrated light it could push out. And this is just an Olight. This is the Warrior Mini 3. Horrible tint if you're looking for like nice tint color, but the UI on this thing is nice. It's very small and compact. It's got a lot of modes. The moonlight mode's very nice. You can't even tell it's lit up, but that is the moonlight mode. It's got access to the full mode. It's got access to medium real quick, all from the top, and also you have the button on the side. But having a handheld light is a must, especially at night, and these come in handy at work too because I have to identify stuff in a warehouse. But having a handheld, I believe it's a lot more essential. Also knives, I mean, we cut stuff, they're fun to play with. I've handled knives all the way from 20 bucks all the way to a couple thousand, but for me, this is my big go-to, is just a K390 Delica. I need to cut things. I don't really see this as a defensive weapon, possibly as a last-ditch effort, but this is more of a EDC, hobbyist kind of thing. This has been very dependable. I've sharpened this a lot. Notice it's a little dirty, but this steel is amazing, so it's fun to get into a hobby like knives. If it's not that, it is my fancy Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Excuse me. This one is SPM 15B. Another tool steel, so you do have to worry about rust or corrosion, but I've done a pretty good job. But this thing is also stupid sharp and very fun to use. I got the scales and the clip from a friend. Normally I don't really customize my knives, but this was a gift, which I will hold until the day I die. If you notice the dots there, my friend actually hardness tested it to make sure the steel was good quality. Obviously that's getting into the weeds, but if you guys know my rest of my channel, I am a knife sharpener and a knife friend. Now if I do want a defensive knife, what I've settled on is the Shivworks Clinch Pick 2. This goes on, I clip this to the left side of my appendix so I can grab it with my offhand or my main hand. And it's pointed down. The good thing about this, if I am entangled on the floor, if my arms are pushed against me, I can still reach it. I can even shift my hips to pull this. And this is just you just use your gross motor skills to use it however you want. Obviously you don't want to put your thumb here because it is double-edged, but this is just an amazing get-off-me knife. It's got a big fat short handle with texturing. That way it's gonna be near impossible unless you let them take it out of your hand. Look at that. You can also carry it reverse if you need to do some gross motor cutting. But I mean, for a get-off-me tool, I think this is one of the best options. There's some other ones out there, but this is what I picked, the Shivworks Clinch Pick 2.0. Like I said, I do not want to get into a knife fight. I do not want to deal with the aftermath of a defensive use of a knife, even a gun. That's why I don't glorify, I don't want to, I don't fantasize about stuff like this, but I am still prepared, just like we carry first aid kits, just like we put on our seatbelt. We don't want those things to happen, but we put them on. We use those things as a precaution just to make sure. But anyway, that's really I have my wallet, I have a Leatherman on me pretty much every day, I have a backpack, I have other stuff. But as far as ammo choices, this is my ammo choice for carry for my 38 Special. This is a Georgia Arms Ultimate Defense Snub Revolver wad cutter. You notice the cartridge is lined up with the top of the bullet there. This is just a wad cutter. It's low recoiling, but instead of working off a velocity, which with a short barrel like this you're not going to get a lot, versus a long barrel, this is just going to cut right through to it. It's got very consistent penetration, and it's not relying on the hollow point expansion to do its work and to stop. But I've shot a couple of these and they have been very consistent. They shoot point of aim, point of impact. I've been very impressed with this. Plus it's a local business here in Georgia. I ordered 10 boxes of these and they came in within a day to my area here in Georgia. But that is what I carry. And on my speed strip, I carry some Federal Punch 38 Special because I want to have that pump, because it's a little bit harder to reload these on a speed strip when you're trying to you know, reload if you have to, but that's just in case. I don't really think if I have to use this, I'm going to find myself in a situation where I need to reload. Otherwise, for my carry, for my 9mm, I use these right here. These are pretty snappy. Now these are they're controversial. I've seen performance testing on these on just bare gel. They're very consistent. They're very fast. I mean, 1800 feet per second. That's pretty damn fast. And I do believe that they'll perform, but you're not, you know, tried and true technology from hollow points, good bonded hollow points are still probably your best option. And I do have a box of some older gold dots, which I've kept. These are one item I think you can't go wrong with. Other ones are going to be HST. As soon as I shoot the rest of these off, because I have a large amount of box of these in 68 and 90 grain, I'm going to just be converting all over to HST, probably 124 or 124 plus P, or even gold dots. Buying in bulk definitely saves. But yeah, that is my setup, guys. I know it's kind of everywhere, but I kind of wanted to go over what I carry, why I carry it, my reasonings, and, you know, just to kind of have a discussion with you guys, see what you guys think, what you guys carry, what's your philosophy. Definitely let me know. I like talking about it with people in a constructive way. So if you guys want to leave your comments, I'd love to hear what your thoughts. Like I said, do you like my setup? I have a small one and a do-it-all. Plus I have anything that I need as far as EDC to cover what I may need during the day. How do you guys carry? Do you guys carry off body? Do you guys carry appendix? I carry appendix and pocket. But let me know, and I appreciate everyone's input. I hope everyone stays safe. Please be humble, be kind, spread humility, and let's try to make this a better place and not, you know, rip each other's heads off, because that's not really solving anything. All right, bye.